Hi there and welcome to part 13 of my 100-day drawing challenge for 2019. In this video we're going to be going through prompts 84 to 91. There are more than 7 prompts in this video just because I wanted to split up these final prompts into only 2 videos rather than 3. So there'll be a few more in this video than usual and a few more in the next video than usual. But let's just jump in and start talking about the prompts from this week. Prompt number 84 was snacks. I was determined to draw something really cute for this one. I didn't want to do actual realistic snacks like I did last year, so I decided to draw something really cute for this one. I decided on a character with a circle in the background as per usual. I do this all the time. I knew that I wanted to give her kind of long hair that was a little bit fluffy. I just kind of had this picture in my head of what I wanted this character to look like, and then I drew all these cute little sweets floating around the outside, and she's holding a rainbow lollipop, which I think is so cute, and I did a little bit of a candy design on her shirt as well. I actually really like how this one turned out. I wasn't planning on it turning out quite like this. I don't really know what I expected, but I just jumped in and started drawing, and it actually turned out much cuter than I expected. I actually really like this one a lot. I especially like those little sweets in the background, like the little cupcake and the little ice cream, which I did a kind of gradient on, like a blue and purple kind of gradient, which I think looks really cute. Actually, I'd love to try and use that combination of markers again. That was a bit of an unexpected accident, I suppose. I also didn't really plan on what I wanted the colour scheme to be. I just jumped in and started colouring. I really like the colour that the hair turned out, and then I decided on a kind of blue and peachy combination for the outfit, and then did a lot of pinky tones in the background. Prompt number 85 was neon, and again I wasn't really sure what to do for this one. I did take some inspiration from my drawing from last year and tried to do a kind of similar character, but just improve the anatomy a little bit and change it a little bit and turn it into more of a complete image. This one isn't one of my favourites, to be honest, because of the dark colour in the background and the really bright neons. I usually like to work in pastels as a general rule, so using dark and really bright colours together in an image wasn't really within my comfort zone, but I just went for it, used a lot of bright colours, and I think it turned out kind of cute. I did try and improve it from last year just a little bit by just kind of adding that circle in the background and changing her pose a little bit just so that it was a bit more central. I think that everything was kind of placed oddly in the drawing from last year, just kind of all over the place. So I do like this one better than last year's, but in terms of this year's drawings, I don't think it's one of the better ones. I think that it could have been a lot better, but again, it really was kind of out of my comfort zone, so I wasn't sure what else to do for this one, and this is what it ended up like. Prompt number 86 was another random number generator prompt. 20 and 13 is mermaid and water. I've already drawn 2 mermaids in the course of this. I could just draw another one. I mean, it's a good excuse to just draw something cute, to be honest. And I have this washi tape. I might go with that. Mermaid and water. I mean, why not? And I got really lucky again with the random numbers that I generated. So last time I got blue and butterflies, and I drew a cute blue butterfly-ish drawing. So for this one, I generated mermaid and water, which I think those two things go together so well. They're kind of synonymous. So this was a nice, easy prompt. I could have generated 2 more random numbers and done this again and tried to get something a bit more difficult, a bit more challenging or interesting to try and mix together. But to be honest, I was getting kind of stressed out with this challenge. I mean, we're sort of heading towards the end of the challenge at this point. So I saw a chance and I took it. I just took the chance and just went with mermaid and water. So basically those 2 prompts meant that I could just draw a mermaid, which I was really happy about because I think I mentioned before I have some mermaid themed washi tape that I was really excited to use again. So for this one I went with a kind of blue and purple colour scheme and then gave her kind of greenish toned hair to go along with that, and I think it turned out really cute. I decided to make her a little bit curvier than the mermaids I've drawn before in this challenge, just because I felt like it. I just thought it would be cute to do a slightly different shape, and I gave her a different outfit too. Like I've mentioned before, I really like when drawing mermaids to like try and come up with what can I do differently and what kind of different outfits can I give them or different hair can I give them, just to make them all different from one another in certain ways. But yeah, I think this one turned out cool. I do actually really like the composition of this one. That wasn't really 100% planned. It was kind of planned. I do try and plan the compositions of each of these, but I think this one turned out really well. I used kind of a box in the background and then outlined that box with the washi tape in the end. I just kind of drew her within that box, but breaking the bounds of it slightly, with the hair floating on the outside and the tails coming slightly outside of that box too. I don't really have much else to say about this one, but I do think it turned out cute. I do like the colour scheme and the composition of this one, and I actually really like her outfit too. I think it turned out really sweet. Prompt number 87 was Magician. So for this one, rather than going with a kind of classic magician type theme, I decided to change it a little bit and go for a child who is trying to be a magician or perform a magic trick, and then is kind of surprised when a rabbit actually pops out of the hat, which I thought was a really cute concept, and it meant that I could draw a cute little rabbit too, so that's what I went with for this. I am a little bit disappointed with how this image turned out overall, because a lot of my pale pink markers are running out of ink again, so I didn't really have a colour that I wanted to use in the background of this, so I attempted to colour it with coloured pencil instead, and I don't think it really worked out to plan. It was supposed to be sort of like a magical aura type thing that was supposed to be happening around the character, but the pencil turned out a lot paler than I would have liked, so you can't even really see it properly. So overall, as an image, I think this one would be a lot better if I could have improved the background a little bit more. But in terms of just the character, I do think it turned out cute. I like the little hairstyle that I gave her and the colours that I used for her outfit too. I decided to go with purple rather than giving her like a black suit, just so that I could continue using pastels, and then paired that with like a bright pink colour, which I think turned out really cute. And then I did lots and lots of sparkles around, because this is a magical prompt, so I thought lots of magic sparkles all around the place. Like I said, I'm not super proud of the overall image, because the background could have been improved on a lot, but I do like the character and I think it's a cute little concept. Prompt number 88 was Cocktail, and this one didn't turn out the best. I'd say that this is probably my least favourite from this week's prompts, but I tried and it just didn't turn out to plan. I think the idea was good and the execution ended up not so good, unfortunately. So I just knew that I wanted to draw something kind of summery, because that's what I think of when I think of cocktails, I suppose, is like being on a beach, I guess. I don't know why that's what I think of, because I don't think I've ever actually drank a cocktail on the beach. So if I were drawing a realistic rendition of my relationship with alcohol, it would not look like this, but I wanted to draw something summery. I knew I wanted to use a bright colour palette, so I know that there are a lot of different cocktails, and I decided to go with a kind of fruity theme, just because I knew I wanted to use really bright colours. So I went with a bright yellow, bright orange, and a little bit of red kind of colour palette for this, and I think it turned out okay, like, sort of. I do like the hair. I think that her hair turned out really cute. I knew I wanted to give her kind of a curvy body type to just make it a little bit sexy, just because that's, I guess, what I think of when I think of cocktails. I don't know why. And she's holding a drink too, just to tie in the whole theme. But then I just think the anatomy turned out weird. I think the arms are kind of weirdly mismatched, like the anatomy turned out really bad. Her face didn't turn out great either. I don't know, I think there were just a lot of sloppy mistakes with this one in terms of the way it was executed, but I do think that this character is cute, and I love the colour scheme and the overall theme of this kind of summery beach theme, cocktail theme. Like, I really like it. So I'd love to redraw this one at some point. There are a couple of drawings from this overall challenge that I would love to attempt to redraw at some point, so maybe I'll do that in the new year. I'll make a video where I try and improve upon the worst prompts from this challenge. Prompt number 89 was in the clouds. So this was one that I didn't fully complete last year. I don't think I completed Cocktail last year either. I do like how it turned out, but it does feel a bit basic and a bit simple. I didn't really know how to add more detail into this drawing, so the idea behind it was that I wanted to draw a character who was kind of wearing clouds, so taking the in the clouds theme really literally, like she lives in the clouds. It's this kind of whimsical character who has clouds for hair and for her dress. And I do think it turned out cute. I really like the hairstyle. I like the fringe, the way it kind of swishes over. And I used a really pretty colour for the background. It's called Pebble Blue, and I kind of gradiented it. Is that a word? Gradiented? But I kind of added a gradient in the background from Pastel Blue to the Pebble Blue, just because I didn't want it to be one solid colour in the back. And I do think it kind of works. It gives it this sky effect, this kind of gradient in the sky look to it. And I do think it's really cute and whimsical that she's like wearing the clouds, and I think that clouds are really fun to draw, even if I'm not that good at it. They are really fun. So yeah, this one turned out looking kind of simple, kind of basic. There wasn't a lot of detail that I could think of to add, but I do like it as a simple design, and I think it works for the prompt. Prompt number 90 was playing cards, and this is a redraw of a drawing that I did back in 2011. And also I redrew it last year for this 100-day challenge, so I now have 3 versions of this character. One from 2011, one from 2018, and one from this year. So I think it's really fun to compare the 3 drawings and see what has changed throughout the years. I do really like how this one turned out. This might be one of my favourites from this week. I really wanted to prove that I had improved my art style from last year, so I put a lot of effort into this one, and even though there are some little mistakes here and there, because I am kind of clumsy sometimes with art, and I do make little mistakes here and there, but I do really like how this one turned out overall. I went with a box in the background, which I coloured purple, just to kind of frame the character. I've loved putting this block colour in the background recently on my drawings, because I just think it really makes the character stand out. I also did change the outfit a little bit from the previous 2 designs because I felt like I didn't really like the way that the shirt looked. So I shortened the sleeves just because I really love drawing those kind of puffy sleeves at the moment. And I gave the shirt a collar too, which it didn't have previously. And I added that kind of check pattern on her headband as well as on the cuffs and on her like cane thing. And I changed the colour of the skirt too, because previously it was just black and red, and I decided to add black, red and purple across the whole skirt. But other than that, I think everything was kept the same, and I just tried to improve it by drawing it a little bit better. I changed the pose a little bit, because last year the pose felt kind of closed up, and I didn't really like the way that the leg was crossed over, so I just decided to give her more of a pose as though she's like walking forwards, because I think it just opens up the silhouette of the whole image a little bit better. And I think it turned out really cute. I think it looks really sparkly and pretty, and I like the colour scheme, the black and the red and the purple. And I feel like all of the little changes that I made to the design were really necessary to really improve the design of the character, and I do think it's recognisable and similar to the original still. And prompt number 91 was ribbons. So for this one, again, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to draw before I jumped in and started drawing, so I just went for it and kind of saw wherever it wanted to take me. I just went with it. So I ended up drawing this cute character, which is generally what I default to when I'm not sure what to draw, just something cute. So I decided to give her that kind of big fluffy hair again, kind of inspired by the snacks prompt. After I'd drawn that, I really wanted to draw that kind of hairstyle again, so I went with something similar, and just added loads and loads of bows and ribbons. So she has one bow kind of on her head, and then one for each of the pigtails, and then a couple of little ones down her hairstyle, and then a bow around her neck, and a little bow on her choker, and a bow around her waist, and then a bow in the background to kind of frame the outside of that circle in the background. So just as many ribbons as I could fit into the image. And I think it turned out really cute. I went with a blue, purple and pink colour scheme, which is one of my favourites. I like using those colours a lot. Like I said, my pale pink markers were running out, but I went with a brighter pink, and I still think it works with the pale purple and the pale blue. I think it turned out really sweet. It isn't one of my absolute favourites because I do feel like the silhouette of the overall image did end up kind of closed up because of the way that the hair is placed, and I think I could have used a different colour in the background rather than the same colour as her dress. It does feel a little bit kind of squished and closed up as in terms of the composition of it, but I do think it was cute and it works for the ribbons prompt, and again, maybe this is one to redraw in the future, who knows. So finally, for this video, prompt number 21. Right, way back when I reached prompt number 21, I ended up skipping it because the prompt landscape made me panic a little bit. I didn't know what to draw for it. I was having a stressful week back then. I remember, like, I think it was when my cat was ill, but for whatever reason on that particular day I ended up not drawing, and I skipped the landscape prompt. And even at the time when I posted that video, I made a bit of a joke about it being a 99-day drawing challenge rather than 100 days. But I'm so determined to actually complete this challenge this year and draw 100 prompts. So I went back and I completed the landscape prompt. Finally, I ended up actually completing this challenge. Fingers crossed I will actually make it to prompt 100 and complete all of them this year, because last year I gave up at around 90, I think. I think all of the prompts from 90 onwards or thereabouts were not completed last year, so I'm so determined to actually complete this challenge this year. So determined. So that included having to go back and complete prompt number 21, landscape. I hate drawing landscapes, but it was necessary in order to complete the challenge, so that's all. So that's all for this video. The next video will be the final part of this whole challenge, which I'm so excited about. So excited for it to be over. It was fun, but it was kind of a roller coaster, and that's why I'm glad for it to be finally over. But regardless, that's all the prompts for this week. I hope that you enjoyed them and that the art was okay. I know some of them weren't great, but some of them I did really like. I really liked Snacks. I liked my mermaid character for the random number generator prompt. I liked my playing cards redraw, so some of them were good. And hopefully I can do even more good drawings next week. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see. I don't know. Thank you so much if you actually listened to me ramble on for this long, and goodbye.